people of the YouTube world and all who are watching this. I am Mackenzie901K, and yes, we are doing another reading vlog, but this reading vlog is fun because it's a themed reading vlog, and I feel like I have not done a themed reading vlog in a little bit now, but we're doing one today, which I'm so excited about. So as you guys can see by both the intro, which by the way, I hope y'all love the intro. I had such a fun time making this intro. It was really fun to make. Not only can you all tell by the intro what we're doing, but also by the title of the video. We're gonna be reading romance books for a week, and man oh man, do we have some good ones lined up in today's video. But the one that we are starting with, which is upside down, which is Don't Be in Love by Lana Sensati. I am obsessed with this author. She wrote one of my favorite books, Picking Daisies on Sunday. So I'm so excited to get into this and for you guys to know my thoughts. We've also got a couple other fun things planned. Not only do I want to be reading rom-coms for a week, but I also want to be in that rom-com state of mind. I'm really trying to embody Laura Jean throughout this video. So we're gonna be doing some crafting, some baking, and there's also a special guest. Katie may or may not be joining us to do some fun things. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and let's jump right on into the video and jump into Don't Be in Love. I'm so excited. I do have an update. I have an update for us on Don't Be in Love. I think I'm enjoying it. I have read quite a bit of it today, so I'm currently on page 76, chapter 24. I don't know how I feel about this book, if I'm being completely honest. I can give you guys a little bit better of a synopsis as to what's happening in this, but in this we are following 21-year-old Adelaide. Adelaide got this opportunity to go study in London at this school called Townsend University. She is a very academically driven person. She is a very I'm gonna study type of girl. I'm gonna stay in and study, and that's what's fun for me. She, I believe, is a marketing major as well, which is fun. Then one night before the semester starts, she goes out to this bar, I believe, with her friends, and there's this guy who walks up to her who she does not know. He's like, "Hey, you want to come dance?" And at first she's like, "No, I don't at all, actually." But then he ends up convincing her to come dance with him. Then they end up running away, and they pretty much spend a night together. So then enter the next day, and she finds out that this man is none other than Dorian Blackwood. Dorian Blackwood is apparently a playboy rich guy. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that this is who this was." Dorian is a very down bad man, so he is very interested in Adelaide, and it's been very interesting so far. I definitely think that I'm enjoying this less than Picking Daisies on Sunday. A lot less, actually. It's been okay. Their dynamic is okay. They're bantering, which is fun, but other than that, there's not really a lot that's going on. I don't really know what I would rate it right now, but I'm interested to see how their relationship builds, and I hope that we get more good scenes, because that was the whole reason that I loved Picking Daisies on Sunday. I loved our female main character. I loved our male main character. This guy, I'm kind of a little bit iffy on. I don't really know necessarily if I love him, but I guess time will tell when I finish the book. I'm on chapter 24, page 176, so I'm a little bit over halfway through the book. I definitely want to try to finish this to see what I'm going to think about it, so hopefully I love it, but you know, we'll see. Oh, and also there's a problem in here. She does not want to date him because he is apparently one of her friends crushes, and she's like, "No, I can't date you." The only reason that this friend is obsessed with him is because she knows about him in a magazine. She's never met this man before. I understand, you know, girl power. Don't date guys that your girlfriends like. That's important. But with this just kind of seems a little bit goofy because it kind of seems like a superstar and like, you know, girl goes sees superstar and best friend's obsessed with superstar. Superstar is obsessed with the best friend's best friend. So, I don't really know how I'm feeling about that vibe either. This book is just a whole bunch of if. And there's also been another thing that's been thrown in as to why they can't be together, which is kind of weird as well. I think I'm enjoying it. Like, I did fly through it. I mean, I've read halfway. I read this in like a couple of hours. I was zooming through this and I'm having a good time with it. But there's just some of the plot devices and honestly the male main character who's just like giving me the ick. So I am going to continue to read Don't Be in Love, and I will give you guys an update once I've finished it. So I'll give you guys an update in a little bit. Hello guys. So I do actually have a couple of book updates for you guys. As you guys seen, I did do a bit of coloring, which was so nice. I have been loving coloring again. My friend came over a few weeks ago. We were coloring and I was like, dang, I have missed coloring. So I decided that it was necessary to do some coloring, and of course we had to watch some of the Charlie Brown Valentine special episodes because they are just so lovely. Let's talk about the book updates. First book update is that I finished Don't Be in Love. I enjoyed this very much. I think my main issue with this book was that they were basing their relationship off of a one-night stand. Pretty much. Like, he was sweet, it was cute, but I just don't know that I fully loved this book like I loved Picking Daisies on Sunday. This book was very different from Picking Daisies on Sunday. The thing that I loved about Picking Daisies on Sunday was the premise was just an overall like sweet premise. You know, we had friends to lovers-ish to strangers to lovers. That was fun. This, I don't really love when books do the whole one-night stand premise, just because I feel like it's not my favorite. I know that there are people who do really love this genre, and I do know books that do it well. I'm not saying that this book handled it badly, because I think that the next book that we're getting ready to talk about in a second done it worse than this one. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit on a rating. I'm thinking this is definitely gonna be like a 4-star book, because I did really like the couple. I did really like both of our characters. I felt like the guy character, while he was charming and sweet, he really just wasn't like a guy for me. I did really love the fact that he wanted to be around her. He wanted to do things for her and just be nice to her and kind to her. I also love that this book plays on the fact that it feels like a rom-com. Rom-coms are mentioned heavily throughout this book, so I do love the fact that it played on that. I thought that that was really fun. I love the setting. Any book set in London, I'm sold. I think the books set in London are just so fun. Overall, I enjoyed it. The only other thing that comes to mind is the fact that I don't really feel like I'm gonna really remember this book like I remember Picking Daisies on Sunday. I still really love this author, Lana Sensati, I think is how you pronounce the name, but she's a really good author. I love all of her books. I cannot wait to see what she writes next, because she's definitely an auto-buy author for me. So now I want to talk about the other book. I started this book a few days ago and I haven't really talked about it because I kind of forgot to talk about it. So the book is In the Weeds by B.K. Borison. B.K. Borison wrote the Love Light Farms. This is actually the second book in the Love Light Farms series. I don't think it's got another name, but this book is following some people. I really don't know. I'm going to give you all the rundown. So we got introduced to this couple in the first Love Light Farms book, and pretty much their whole premise is again a one-night stand that they cannot stop thinking about. So the book opens up with them doing their one-night stand or whatever, and then we flash forward. I have no idea how far in the future, but we do flash forward a little bit in the future. We are now with our male main character who cannot get over this night. It's not really for me. I can tell you right now, it's not really for me, because like I just talked about with Don't Be in Love, I'm not a fan of the one-night stand premise. Good for them. I'm glad they had their one night stand, but a relationship that's built on a one night stand, or at least in books, I don't know about it in real life. In book, one night stands to me kind of, they feel a bit lustful. I'm 24% into the book. I'm on chapter 5. Not much has happened other than, you know, they're both just, well, no, the male main character's being lustful. Female main character, she is an influencer, and she has decided that she wants to take a break from the influencer life. If books are built on things like that, and I just right off the bat just find something to not like about the book, I will pick and pull at the book and find other things that I don't like about the book as well. I didn't really experience that with Don't Be in Love, I will say. I really actually did enjoy Don't Be in Love, and I feel like, you know, outside of their one night stand, I feel like we got to branch out a little bit and kind of see them grow together a little bit more. So hopefully we'll get the same thing in the Weeds, but so far I'm just not interested. The only thing that is like intriguing me about In the Weeds is the fact that the man, like the male main character, he just finds these random animals. Like in the first book, he got cats, and now in this book, he found a duck, I think. So him just finding these random animals and being like a Snow White-esque person is just hilarious, because I believe he also lives in a cottage. I'm kind of feeling iffy about it. Oh, and I also think I forgot to say, Katie, Cass, and I are also doing a buddy read of this, so I will have their channels linked down below so you guys can go watch their POVs. I think when I put this up, Katie's got her thoughts up. I don't know when Cass will have her thoughts up about the book. I'm thinking hopefully soon, but so far it's not for me. With that being said, I'm going to continue to listen to In the Weeds today. I do have it pulled up and ready to go. Also, we are going to get into our next book, because I'm also going to be reading Beg, Borrow, or Steal in this video, which is the third book in the Rome, Kentucky series by Sarah Adams. I'm very interested in this. I tried to read the back of this last night, because when I finished Don't Be in Love, I almost thought about picking this up, but I decided to wait on you all. And it seems like that these people are going to be nemesis. These people do not like each other, which is going to be interesting. I'll read you what it says up at the top. It says, 2 feuding second grade teachers and neighbors find themselves teaming up in this new rivals to lovers romance. So I'm intrigued. I don't really remember if we got a setup for this in Practice Makes Perfect. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've read Practice Makes Perfect. I read When in Rome last year. I kind of read them out of order. So I read Practice Makes Perfect in 2023, so I don't really remember a ton of what happens in that book. Like, I remember a lot about the romance, but not a lot about anything else. So we'll see what I think about this. I'm very excited. So far, Sarah Adams' books, both of them have been hits. I will say I did enjoy Practice Makes Perfect more than When in Rome, so maybe we will just keep the ball rolling and it will get better and better as we go. Also, plans for tonight, I am deciding to do a little bit of baking in this video, because we're, you know, trying to live that rom-com-esque life. So I'm deciding to do a little bit of baking in honor of one of my favorite rom-coms, To All the Boys I've Loved Before. We are going to be baking not anything To All the Boys inspired. Actually, it is inspired by a romance series on Netflix. It's a Bridgerton box, scone in a box type of thing. I was very intrigued. I had seen people talking about Walmart putting out Bridgerton things, and I seen that my Walmart had gotten some like Bridgerton baked goods, so I'm deciding to bake some scones tonight, not from scratch though, from a box. So that's the plans for tonight. And also, I want to try to read as much of Beg, Borrow, or Steal today as I can, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump in to Beg, Borrow, or Steal. Hello everybody. So it is actually, fun fact, the next evening. I didn't even grab the book that I've been reading, because I honestly have not made that much progress in reading, but that's not what this update is about. Actually, it is. Like, I can give you some thoughts on it, but that's not what we're doing right now, because I actually have a bit of a haul for you guys. So I did go to the library today. I did not get to film it because I didn't really spend too much time at the library today. We were kind of in a hurry, but I did stop by the library today to pick up my hold for Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales. And you guys, I'm so obsessed with this cover. It just screams me. Maybe not the blue cover, but the rest of it, whatever's like decorating the cover, screams me. There's like a thing for the push pins and some thread. Then there's a cat on here and a snail and mushrooms. I'm obsessed. So in case you don't know, this is the third Emily Wilde book in the Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies series. This is the final book in the series. crazy, but I'm so excited to dive into this. I will be diving into this probably in the next vlog. So I'm pumped. I'm stoked. I'm so excited. Moving on, then when I got home from my little like excursion, I seen that we had a fairy loot box sitting on the front door. This is the YA January box. So if you guys have not received this box yet, I would skip forward if you're worried about spoilers. We're gonna be opening this box together. So I'm actually gonna leave the box. It's sitting right here. I'm gonna leave it sitting here and I'm going to just pull the stuff out of it because it is honestly kind of heavy. All right, what do we, oh, it's so pretty already. I'm so excited. Okay, so this is the spoiler card. I'm not gonna look at the back of it, but this is so pretty. Okay, so it looks like we've got a few purple things, and the first thing that I'm seeing in here is a umbrella. Obviously we're not gonna open the umbrella in the house, but we can unravel her. Oh, this is so pretty. Okay, so it's got like, it's gonna be really hard to show. It's got like this kind of vibe. But she's so pretty, and it's like clear. You can see my hand through it. How cool. But yeah, this is a fun little umbrella. We've never gotten an umbrella before that I know of. So cool. I'll have to look and see who the artist is, and we will go through that in the end. Okay, so this says that this is a Belladonna trinket box. But here's what it says on the box, so you can see the artist name down here. Okay, let's open her. Oh, it's so pretty. Okay, so I have her. Okay, this is what it looks like. It's really pretty. I've never read Belladonna. Belladonna has always been on my mental TBR, but she's so pretty. Oh, I love her. 10 out of 10. Okay, that is ceramic. Actually, I'm going to set it over here. So the next thing that we have is the Bonesmith glow in the dark pen, which depending on how this pen looks, I may keep it, but I don't really love the Bonesmith. Here's what she looks like. Apparently this pen glows in the dark, which I could see that. I don't think I'll be keeping this just because I don't love the Bonesmith. So if any of you guys like the Bonesmith, let me know. Alright, next up we have, oh, and I forgot to say, this pen is designed by Hollow Whim. Maybe that's supposed to be Whim, I'm not sure. Okay, and then next up it looks like we have a tote bag. I wonder if this is supposed to be for the book. Here's what it looks like. Or if this is supposed to be for another book. I don't know. But I will say this tote bag is very interesting because it does have a zipper. This is the first tote bag I've ever gotten with a zipper, which I really enjoy. But it's very dark. Like, you really can't see what's on it. Okay, let's take out the book. We do have the tarot cards that feature the main characters of the book. So this is one of our main characters, and this is another one. They are very cute, I will say. This is what I'm seeing right now. I'm struggling. I try to be so gentle. Here she is. And the theme for this month was Unholy Alliance. This is Cruel is the Light by Sophie Clark. This is what it looks like. And then the inside, wow. The inside looks like this. How pretty! It's got a little dagger on the front, and the gold foiling is so pretty. And then in the back, there is some other characters as well. How fun! Oh, I do love these sprayed edges. They are quite beautiful. Oh, and we do have a reversible dust jacket, which is actually very stunning. It's not as stunning as the front, but I do love good character art. I'll have to look because I think this book has maybe crossed my radar at some point, but I'll have to double check that. But I swear Sophie Clark sounds so familiar because at first I thought maybe the book that I was looking at was by Sophie Lark, but maybe not. It says epic is their love, endless is their power, and then on the back here it says, they say love conquers all, but can love win in a war between demons and exorcists? Or will it just tear them all apart? I'm intrigued. The trinket box, which we seen, was for Belladonna, of course. The tote bag. The tote bag is One Dark Window. Why would I not have guessed that? And I've read One Dark Window. Well, now that makes sense. I was wondering like about the cards that were around it. This actually makes sense because that's Elspeth and that's like the nightmare situation. How cool. I've really been wanting to reread this series. So like this tote bag kind of intrigues me and would be a fun accessory for an outfit. The umbrella is supposed to represent the book that we got, Cruel is the Light. And these are all the designers for this, for everything that you guys seen. I'll get it real close. It says the book featured this month is of course Cruel is the Light. In a century-old war between demons and the Vacton, an exorcist and an elite order form an uneasy alliance to uncover a dangerous conspiracy at the heart of the church, all while battling attraction and dark secrets. And they must choose between love and duty. I don't know that I will be reading this. I don't know if exorcists and that whole thing is my vibe. I am going to put this on the maybe list. So anyway, that was all of the little things that we got from the fairy loot box. I do typically love fairy loot boxes. They do always provide a variety of different little trinkets and things. I think I do love the trinket box. That's the Belladonna trinket box. I think it's really cute. That's it for the fairy loot box. As far as a book update goes, I am currently reading Beg, Borrow, or Steal. It's going well. We did kind of get introduced. I'm not very far in. I think I'm maybe only about 50 pages in. I had a friend come over last night. We kind of just spent some time together. So I did not want to read too much, but I'm glad I did read a little bit. So now I do kind of know what the book is about. So we are following our two main characters, and I forgot their names. I know one of them's named Jack, but I don't remember the other one. They were rivals and they worked at this school together until Jack apparently is getting married. He ends up leaving this town. He leaves Rome, Kentucky. He leaves this school. A few months later, he shows back up. He's back in town, and rumor has it that he's no longer getting married. And I think I got to the point in the book where they had just like met again. Now they are figuring out what's been happening with each other the past few months. Our girl main character is already like, why do I care that he's back? Which is so ridiculous. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue to read Beg, Borrow, or Steal. But tonight also, I mentioned yesterday that we were going to do a bit of baking, and we're still going to do that. I'm going to be doing that in just a little bit. That's pretty much all the stuff I got going on. So let's go ahead and let's jump into the baking for real this time. Hello everybody. So I do have a couple of book updates for you, and the first one is not so good. I'm not gonna lie. The first one is actually the opposite of good. It's actually quite terrible. And then the second book update though that I have is really phenomenal. So as we talked about last night, I was going to continue reading Beg, Borrow, or Steal, which we did end up finishing Beg, Borrow, or Steal, which we'll talk about in a second. But the first thing that I wanted to talk about is In the Weeds. I feel like such a terrible buddy reader. Here's the thing. I don't like In the Weeds. I actually don't like In the Weeds at all. We've kind of already talked about it, but you know, as the book opens up, they have their whole one night situation. I didn't appreciate that. I'm not gonna lie to you, that just kind of icked me out from the start. And then we go on in later on, we see simply just thinking about that situation like all the time. He's just talking about it and daydreaming about it, and I don't know why, but that just gave me the actual ick so bad. For that reason, and for that reason alone, I'm DNFing the book. I did already talk to Katie, and Katie said, you know what? I didn't really love it anyway. If you really don't want to finish the book, then DNF the book. And that kind of also plays into my goal of the year, where I want to read quality books over quantity books. So I feel like I should not have to force myself through the book, even though I do feel quite terrible for DNFing the book, because I know that it's a buddy read, and obviously I do try to finish buddy reads when I do them, but I just did not love In the Weeds. It would have gotten to a point where I will pick at the book just to find other things that I don't like about it, because I don't like the book. So for that reason, and for that reason alone, I'm DNFing the book. I will be continuing the series, because I do think we're all at some point going to try to read all of the books probably throughout the year. I think that'll be fun. I also think, because this is an interconnected standalone series, I think it'll be fun to kind of just move forward, because you don't necessarily have to read all the books in order with an interconnected standalone series, so I'm fine with it. Moving on, we're going to talk about Beg, Borrow, or Steal, because I love Sarah Adams, and Sarah Adams just writes such fun romances. I think I did already go into a synopsis about what this was about, but we did get more into the part of the back of the book where something happens and they have to like go in and kind of steal back this thing because something was wrongfully submitted to a wrong person, so they do have to work together to go in and steal that, which is, it's so funny. We got to see a lot of great character development between these two. I feel like this book was done very well. I do like the fact that it could have proclaimed itself as being an enemies to lovers, but it proclaimed itself as being a rivals to lovers, which, okay, I still don't agree with the rivals to lovers business, because they're teachers. I mean, they don't necessarily have to be rivals. I don't even really know where the rivals part came from. I would consider them as more of like a hate to lovers situation, like haters. I really was obsessed with our characters though. I love the Walker family, and that's who like all of these books in the Win and Rum series kind of center around. The first one's about their brother, second one's about their youngest sister. I believe Annie's the youngest sister, and this one is about the oldest sister. First of all, I just want to say I loved Emily's character. I thought Emily's character really portrayed that older sister vibe where she had to be strong for her other siblings, and with some things that went down in her life, she really had to show herself as being that strong person, which I really loved. I really loved seeing that and seeing just how real she felt at times, because it really felt like she was going through things that were very real life, like somebody in real life could be going through it. So it made her character more connectable, because this book does deal with like topics of grief and things like that. It really portrayed her more realistic than I feel like I've read about a character in a long time. And then also we have our counterpart man, Jack. I loved him. He was just such a great male main character, where I feel like he wasn't like too gone for her. He had the right amount of love for her, and he said these beautiful things, and he was very wordy, and it was overall just so fun. So Sarah Adams, she's done it again, and I'm really impressed with this book. I really love the When in Rome series as a whole, and I'm so excited because we do set up for the 4th book in the series, which is going to be about their middle sister Madison. Or is Madison the younger one? I'm not sure. I will have to double check. I think if I could rank the When in Rome series, it would probably be Practice Makes Perfect, Beg, Borrow, or Steal, and then When in Rome. I think that would be my ranking of them. But I also love like the found family dynamic, and I think that that's why I love small town romances, because this series to me is very comparable to the Chestnut Spring series in a way, because, well, more specifically with the found family dynamic, and I really love getting books. Each book's about a different sibling, because you get to connect to the family, and not only to them but the love interest, and then you get to see them all interact. And I think that was honestly one of the standout points for me in this book. I really love the When in Rome series. Sarah Adams is probably one of my top favorite romance authors. She will forever be an auto-buy author. Anytime I see one of her books in store, immediately buying. So now what we're going to do, because I did DNF in the weeds, I'm trying to pick my next read because I still want to read at least one more book in this video. So I'm currently sitting between two. So I did actually finally, if you watched my last video, my last reading vlog, then you would know I was waiting on my copy of First Time Caller, and as we can see, I did finally get my copy of First Time Caller in the mail a few days ago. So I'm contemplating reading this, but this is also by B.K. Borikson. It was so funny because I was talking to Katie last night and I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna DNF in the weeds, but I'm also thinking about picking up First Time Caller. So she said, oh, you're really switching out a B.K. Borikson book for a B.K. Borikson book. There's that. I'm not sold that I want to read this. I do want to read this, I know, but I don't know that I want to read it in this video. So maybe, potentially, but the guy's name is Valentine. Like, his last name is Valentine. And tomorrow is, in fact, Valentine's Day. Do I read it? Maybe. And then the other option that I have is The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love. This is by India Holton. This is about rival ornithologists, which is so fun. This is also a historical fantasy rom-com, so it is a bit different. It's not contemporary, so I thought this may be a good switch up. Honestly, I might need the switch up because after reading 2.5-ish contemporary romance books, I think I might need a switch up. I think this is going to be the next book, but we'll see how long the audiobook is for these, because I'm going to listen to this. The reason I'm listening to those audiobooks is because I actually need to work on a few things tonight. I need to finish up some Valentine little gifts, and then I also need to do some photo editing because I took some Valentine's pictures for some families last weekend, and I need to get them sent out because it is currently the day before Valentine's Day and I want to get them sent out tonight. So we're going to be listening to an audiobook while we finish up those, but which one it'll be, I don't know. You guys will see in just a second. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into one of these books, and I will update you guys in a little bit when we're doing something fun.
Penguin Random House Audio presents The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love.
Hello everybody. So first of all, happy Valentine's Day. I hope that, well, you know, you guys are seeing this after Valentine's Day, but I hope that you guys had a excellent Valentine's Day. I am currently spending the day at home by myself because my fiance unfortunately had to work today, but that's okay because I actually have a few fun plans. Well, actually just one. I have a fun plan that is happening later tonight. First of all, I wanted to give an update on the Ornithologist Field Guide to Love. I am currently on chapter 15, page 184, and I've been listening to this on audio, and so far, so decent. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time with it. The characters are very fun, so let me give you the rundown about what it's about. So this, we are following our two characters, Beth and Devin. They have been invited to compete in a competition called Birder of the Year, but some things go down. There is some mischief, some foul play happening. So they're trying to not only figure out what's kind of going down, but also they are competing in this competition and they're both wanting to win this Birder of the Year. There has been so many different things about ornithologists. The way that these people make ornithologists sound, it sounds so fun and interesting, but I mean, an ornithologist quite literally, by definition, just means bird watcher. But this takes that concept and really turns it into a fun and enjoyable concept to listen to. So not only are we following them, you know, on this bird watching journey, these birds are also, some of them have magical properties. It's been very interesting so far to follow. I am so far enjoying the banter between our two main characters. I think that they are so fun together. I am really enjoying their dynamic. I always, when I'm reading a historical fantasy, I do always love the idea of the like scandal of it all. Like if they kiss, it's a scandal because this takes place in the 1800s. The yearning is also so fun because, again, it takes place in the 1800s and they're not supposed to feel those feelings towards one another unless they're like, you know, married or whatever. So it makes that tension and yearning and banter like 10 times better. I have been really enjoying the audiobook so far. I think the audiobook has been one of my favorite ways to experience this book. I did physically read a little bit of it last night, but for the most part, I have been listening to the audiobook and I am planning on continuing to listen to the audiobook. So that is on the docket for today. I do want to finish up the Ornithologist Field Guide to Love today. And then also tonight, I do have some fun plans with Bestie Katie. You guys seen that me and Bestie kind of played, well, we didn't kind of play, we did play. We played some Stardew a few days ago and that was so fun. So today we're actually going to call and we're gonna watch one of my favorite movies and also Katie's favorite movie. We're gonna be watching To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Yes, it's a rewatch and yes, we are watching it because it's Valentine's Day, but you know what? It's a cringy little like teen rom-com, but I eat it up. It's so good and I'm so excited to watch that because that's kind of what this whole vlog has been inspired by, because we've done baking and we've done some crafting and things, and when I think of that stuff I immediately think of Laura Jean. Always. So, but I am so excited to watch To All the Boys I've Loved Before with Bestie. So let's go ahead and let's jump into some more reading and watching To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Should I do something dramatic?
Yeah. Are those Nancy Drew? Those are Nancy Drew books! I am Laura Jean.
Confirmed.
Alright. Hello everybody. So I do have a final update for the video on all of the little bookies that we read in today's video. So let's start off with talking about the Ornithologist Field Guide to Love. I think overall I did really enjoy this book. I don't really think I was in the mood for a historical romance though when picking this up. I think that I was kind of getting to the point in the video where I was getting a little bit burnt out, and you know, it's the same thing that comes with these theme type videos, especially if you're reading like the same genre throughout a whole week. You kind of get a little bit burnt out. So I think that was the main problem that I had with this, but overall I still really enjoyed it, and I think I'm going to end up giving it like a 3.75 star. I may reread this at some point and see if my thoughts change at all. I did have a really good time with this, and I definitely enjoyed our characters. The characters were honestly what was like pushing me forward in this book. I really didn't care about the ornithologist stuff. Like, yeah, I thought it was cool, and I did like the magical element that it added in. I think that that part was kind of what like threw me off of the book a little bit. Like, I just really didn't care about what they were doing. Like, I did really see the Indiana Jones-esque vibe, and I really liked the kind of like mystery plot that we get introduced to with the foul play and things like that. The characters were fun. Their banter, top tier. It was perfect. It was phenomenal. That is the part that I always love about historical romances, is the fact that these characters know how to banter and they do it so well. That's what makes this a standout for me, and like I said earlier, I really love the yearning that comes with period romances, especially ones that take place in like the 1800s, and for that reason I really love this. I thought it was really fun, and I had a very good time with it. So let's go through and let's talk about the other two books and kind of just give some final thoughts on the other two books. So first of all, you guys seen me read Don't Be in Love, and I think on further reflection, I think that I really actually did enjoy this book a little bit more than what I feel as though I was conveying in this video. I actually really enjoyed this. I mean, the only problem that I had with it was the fact that it was based on a one-night stand, but I feel as though this author took that one-night stand concept and it just felt very like gentle. It did not feel like a very lust-built relationship. Like, yeah, it started that way, but you really got to see the characters fall in love with each other, and you really got to see them just interact, and their interactions were so good. And I think that the only other problem that I really had with this book was the fact that they tried to do like a forbidden love situation with her friend being into this guy, but again, it was really only as if she was into him because he was like this famous guy. I mean, she, from what I know, never met this guy. That would be the only other issue that I feel like I would have with it. So I think for this one, I'm going to give it a 4.25. I really enjoyed it. It was really fun, and I had a good time with it. Then we are going to go over my thoughts on, I almost called this Don't Be in Love too. We're going to go over my thoughts on Big Brother Steel. Like I said, Sarah Adams does it again. I'm obsessed with this book. I thought this book was so fun. I was really worried that this book was going to be like a bad continuation, because I do find that some series just kind of fall off after a while, but this was a very good continuation, and I'm glad we got to get back into this world and be back with the Walker kids. And well, they're adults, they're my age, but am I gonna call them kids? Absolutely. I'm just very happy that we got to be back with them and, you know, see what they were up to. That was really fun. I love seeing, you know, our new couple come together. Their story was so fun. This female lead main character, Emily, she was one of my favorite characters because she just understands what it's like to be the big sister. Even though, I mean, technically Noah's older than her, she still felt like she was always supposed to be the big sister. I relate so heavily, and I understand where she's coming from, especially like I feel like all of my friends are younger than me, so I've always felt like the big sister of the group. So I do definitely understand and see where she's coming from with all of that, and especially with her saying that she has to put on this front and be strong and, you know, all of that. That was very relatable for me. So I think I'm gonna give this book a 4.25 star as well. I really did enjoy this. I don't really have many complaints, and this was really fun. Final book that we attempted to read, but I did ultimately decide to DNF, that was In the Weeds. I don't really know what to say about it other than I just did not like it. It kind of makes me sound like a hypocrite when I say I did not like In the Weeds, but I literally read another book that did feature a couple that had a one-night stand then later fell in love. I don't know. I really liked the way that that one night stand was done, but it was the fact that it was the first thing right off the bat that you got, and then it flashed forward to the guy just sitting there daydreaming about it. That, I don't know why, that just gave me the ick so bad, but it gave me the ick so bad. I got to talking to Katie about it, and Katie also kind of had some other issues with the book, which I'm not going to get into. I just ultimately decided that it sounded like the book was not getting any better like I was hoping it was going to get, especially for me and my taste, so therefore I did decide to DNF it. That's my final thoughts on that book. That being said, that is it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you did. It helps out the channel and it makes my heart smile. Also, comment down below if you've read any of the books that I read in this video. Also, let me know, how was your guys' Valentine's Day? I, for one, had a very enjoyable, relaxing Valentine's Day with Katie, watching To All the Boys. That was so fun. Katie is just the best movie watching partner. Be sure to tap that subscribe button as well as that post notification bell so you will be reminded right when I upload a video. That's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.